In this week's headlines, a major announcement has been made from Ottawa this week to take action to help stop the trade of illicit tobacco by criminal organizations. MCK Grand Chief Mike Delisle cautions Ottawa and says it would be a foolish move to stage raids in Kahnawake.
Yesterday's announcement, I think, is concerning in the fact that the government itself, not really the enforcement agencies, haven't come forward to talk to us. We've asked finance ministries, revenue ministries, we deal with CCRA to come to the table to deal with these types of things, because we don't believe that anybody can regulate this and come to a better conclusion than we can here internally. And as we've saw in the past couple of months, we do want to ensure that the community is safe. We do want to ensure that this industry remains viable. And I think for them to just now declare that we'll be doing something about it is wrong. And we're going to invite them back to the table and see if they take us up on the offer.
How do you feel about potential raids in the community in terms of the manufacturers that are local in Kahnawake?
I don't think it'll happen. I'm hoping that the external governments are smarter than that. We know what the reaction would be from community and from council. We're not accepting just to be walked over and to be run roughshod over by RCMP or any other enforcement agency. We believe our peacekeepers need to have some form of involvement, because to me it's still about organized crime, and we're not going to turn a blind eye to the fact that we have been infiltrated, as evidenced by last week, regardless of what trade it's in. And because of the money involved in the vehicle that it has, we know that there are unwanted elements within the community, and our target is to ensure that those people leave.
Now, does this is this more significant in terms of the industry needing to be regulated here in the community?
Absolutely. As we've seen in other industries, I believe regulation is the way to go. We've been saying the same thing for 4 years. We invited people here in the community. Some have said yes, some have said no, some have said nothing, some have said things that I can't repeat to us, to our face. But I think it's high time and way past due in terms of formal regulation for Kahnawake, not specifically for individuals or from Mhawk Council, so to speak, but there needs to be involvement. There needs to be people there that are ready to move on this. And I think it'll alienate a lot of the people who have gotten into bed within this industry to ensure that it's safe, it's reputable, and that it's going to be viable here for the economy of Kahnawake.
Do you think if the industry once regulated, do you think that that would help the recognition on behalf of the outside governments?
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, let's not fool ourselves. For them, it's about tax dollars, and we understand and appreciate that. Our fight has been where those monies stay. I don't believe that anybody that comes here that buys, regardless of what it is, has the same tax exemption rights as us as Kahnawake do. That's always been the fight. So we'll have to come to better terms on that as well with our own people, not only with outside taxation agencies, to ensure that the community prospers as a whole.
Anything else you think is important to add?
Well, safety of the collectivity, I think, is the most important aspect here. We don't want to see any type of raids. We don't want to see people get hurt. We don't want to see people blockading or getting in the way of anything. We want to ensure that this thing is collaborative. We want to ensure that the protection and the sovereignty, the integrity of Kahnawake is protected, and we're prepared to do that. So we'll be sending out advices to the federal government and all its agencies to get to the table.
Okay, and thanks to Mike. Now we're here with Chief Rhonda Kirby, and on the same note, I understand that you attended hearings in Ottawa this week in terms of contraband tobacco. Can you tell me how that went?
Well, it was interesting to note that as we were on our way to Ottawa yesterday, listened to the hearing, that Stockwell Day had made some comments that obviously are a bit of concern here in the community. The actual hearings yesterday were the witnesses that were there were from the RCMP, CRA, and someone from finance. And the gist of it was looking at the tobacco industry, but what other implications that there are in some of our communities regarding the criminal element. So that was a large focus.
So what else was significant about those hearings?
Well, what was certainly surprising was to see they have somewhat accurate numbers of tobacco manufacturers that are here in the community, and also with the RCMP booklet that was given out yesterday, they have numbers of retailers, actual retail stores in the community. So that's, and we don't even have those numbers. So it's obviously they've been doing quite a bit of background work. So one of the committee members was slightly outraged that the RCMP had put out this booklet yesterday without the committee even having prior knowledge to seeing that.
And you were also saying about how the whole issue was viewed in terms of what was contraband and what was deemed.
Well, they're looking. There was a question about what was contraband, what was counterfeit. One gentleman spoke about a kit that they actually have that can test the cigarettes, and they can tell which ones are counterfeit.
And how was the native issue in terms of during the hearings, was it at all mentioned if the government thinks that it's all contraband, even on native territories?
Well, it's surprising too. I've had to ask the question here: do they think we are the only ones across Canada who are, manufacturing cigarettes? Of course, the focus is here all the time, which is disturbing.
And this is Regan Jacobs reporting from the Mohawk Council as I sit in a golf cart that's outside of their offices. I'm apparently on the 19th tee. I guess this is a good way to save gas, right? And I don't know, it's pretty cool.